Welcome back to another Jazz basketball breakdown. Tonight kind of went the way I assumed, overall wise.
Yeah, I thought this one was going to be rough. Oklahoma City is on fire right now.
Yep.
They're
And
a legit team.
we had not a lot of people available. So we were missing Markkinen tonight, missing Collins tonight, missing Kessler tonight.
Basically, 3 of our 5 starters.
Yes, that's rough.
Yeah, and we would have needed all of them and to be playing well. The first group stayed with them part of the first quarter, and we were making some pretty nice defensive plays. The amount of shot contests and flat-out blocks and steals that we had tonight were impressive.
Yeah. No, it was fun to actually watch some of the younger players come out there and work their butts off on the defense side of the court. We were talking about it. Agbaji and Fontecchio combined for 5 blocks, 3 steals, 4 blocks from Fontecchio, and a block and 3 steals for Agbaji.
Yeah, the amount of times that Fontecchio gets to the ball is still surprising to me.
His contest on the defense side is stronger than I thought it was.
Not only that, Taylor Hendricks, the amount of times that Jalen Williams, who, like I was telling Cole last year, he finished the year on a tear. And we saw him in the summer league. He played for half of a game, and he was a monster. And the amount of times that he had to change his shot, arc it super high, release it super early because he knew Taylor Hendricks was right there on his hip, it's a sign. That's telling.
Yeah, Hendricks has flashed a lot of his defensive ability. Like, there's no question about that.
There's a few times, that he gets caught a little out of position or a little bit upright, like we talked about. But man, that's just kind of rookie newbie stuff. But man, the amount of signs of his defensive ability and the respect that he gets on the court, that's the sign you want to see, right?
Right.
If he gets respect from these legit players of hurrying and doing a quick release or an extra high arc or having to fade away, that's legit. That's the tip of the cap. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. On the offensive side of the court, Keyonte George had an explosion on the offensive side of the court tonight. 30 points, 7 assists. 30 points, 7 assists, and efficient.
Yeah. And 3 rebounds on top of that. And he still, had a bunch of times where he was correct in his position on defense and kept kind of Gilgeous-Alexander a couple of times, when he was matched up with him nicely. So these were the kind of offensive explosions that we've seen from Keyonte the last 2 years that we knew was out there.
Right.
That we knew was going to be a part of it. And we say, well, what happens all of a sudden when he starts exploding offensively?
Yeah.
I think this puts him up over 11 points a game.
He had a couple super strong finishes tonight over Chet Holmgren.
That's true. That is true. Went at him twice, finished both times, one with the right hand, one with the left hand.
And one on one of them where Holmgren snapped his neck against the board.
I thought he died.
Oh my gosh. If you guys didn't see on Keyonte's and one that he got on Holmgren went into the hoop and just like his neck snapped into the freaking little pad there.
It did not look good. But man, what a fantastic offensive display. And you could see the moxie a couple of times he shot, and he just started kind of, how Curry shoots and starts running away sideways while the ball is still in flight.
Yeah.
Keyonte did a couple.
You can see there was a couple times as soon as he released it, he knew it was going in.
He knew it was in. He was just kind of in that flow. And he has that ability, you can say, sure, a chunk of the points came in garbage time, but he's getting respect for what he's doing out there. So I really love that. Going to shift to a little negativity here.
That's fine.
Our favorite player.
I'm all about it.
So second quarter, Keyonte's on fire.
Dude, I was going to mention this. This is literally in my head. It was like, why we were talking about this. This was the next route I wanted to go.
Somewhere you go. So I'll hand it off here in a second. Hang on. I'm going to tee it up. So second quarter, Keyonte's on fire. We're making a bit of a comeback. He's scored 11 points in the quarter.
Yep.
And there's still a few minutes left. I want to say 2 to 3 minutes left in the quarter.
There was a little over 3.
And he's on fire. At that point, What happens?
11 points in the quarter, on fire, has scored like 3 plays in a row. He proceeds to not see the ball the rest of the half because Jordan Clarkson decides it's my time now.
Yeah.
It's my time now. Hey, you're on fire. You just go stand in the corner for the next 3 minutes while I try to do something here.
He did touch the ball once.
That's
the
true.
last play of the quarter.
That's true.
Because Will Hardy was screaming at Clarkson.
Yeah, so they miss a shot. Keyonte actually gets the board, passes it to Clarkson for Clarkson to come take the last shot. Will Hardy's yelling at him for Keyonte to come to get the ball. Jordan Clarkson annoyedly throws his head up, throws him the ball, turns, slaps his hands, and walks away all butthurt that Keyonte was going to get the ball, just for then to go turn around, run down the baseline, run back up, and take the ball back from him.
Yeah,
that is just such bad. It's bad basketball to not understand that the guy who's on fire needs the ball, right? He's scored 3 or 4 possessions in a row. Keep feeding him. Don't go away from him for the rest of the half.
To not have the awareness to see it first on your own, but then the unwillingness to want to go along with it and just find and
then
do a little circle and come back to it.
And then throw a little fit because the coach tells you to give him the ball. It's not a veteran move.
No.
It is not a veteran move.
And not only that, but Cason Wallace was owning you.
It's like just bashing your head into a wall, right? Over and over again. Cason Wallace beats him like 3 times in a row, locks him down. And so he comes back up and he's going to go at him again. He's shot 3 for 13 tonight, 0 for 4 from 3.
And he apparently went off the court. Bowler Jack was mentioning, that's a frustrated player, and kind of the camera was away, so we don't know what happened. But he didn't come in again.
After
the point. That was in the third quarter when that happened.
He got subbed out.
There's some signs there. I don't know if he's not back fully healthy. That regardless of that, they're just some real frustrating things where we have so many positive things that we could be working on and feeding the usage through. You have a rookie that has 30 points and 7 assists, only 3 turnovers. Get that kid the ball.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And even a couple of times down the stretch, Sexton did that, kind of drove in, turned around, and set him up on a 3-pointer. Dunn always does that.
Sexton had a very good game. Yeah. He
not perfect, right? But
Sexton had a very good second half.
Yeah.
He really struggled with his shot in the first half, was still aggressive defensively and stuff like that, and then exploded with 20 points in the second half. But like you said, it's and here's the thing, though, about like where Clarkson just took the ball from Keyonte, doesn't even get the ball. Keyonte will make the right decision. Keyonte's not just going up and throwing up garbage shots. He took one real, like, legit heat check in this game. Beyond that, he scored in the fourth quarter. He had scored like 4 straight possessions, drives down the very next play. He's on fire, drives to the rim. Instead of forcing up a shot, pulls guys to him, hesitates, and flicks it out to the corner. Ball moves. We get an open look out of it. So I think Somanik ended up hitting a 3. And so it's a guy who he plays basketball the right way. He's not going to just, it's not one of those things where he thinks, I've made it 4 in a row. You have to give me the ball. I have to take this shot. Yes, the ball should be in his hands, and he understands that he's on fire, but he's not going to go take some stupid, awful, just triple team shot because he's made a couple shots in a row. He'll still make the right play, so let him make that play.
And nobody would blame him for shooting in some of those moments when he doesn't. He has every right to, by the NBA standard of I'm hot, right?
I'm hot, right? Give me a heat check, right?
Yeah.
That's super normal. It is abnormal for a guy like that, especially young. What now? He's 20, I think now.
Is he?
20 years old, to have the awareness of a basketball player, awareness of a team, to understand that just because you're on fire doesn't necessarily mean if the ball's in your hand, you have to shoot. Understand, let's get the best shot. Now, he may take a little bit more of a covered shot. That's fine. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it. That's a normal thing, but
yeah,
it's special to see him make those types of high-level decisions when he's on fire.
And think about the wide array of how he scored tonight. He scored at all 3 levels.
Yep.
Shots from distance, shots off the dribble, shots off a catch and shoot. mid-range jumpers and mid-range, kind of runners. He had one, and also finishing with right and his left hand strong at the hoop. Not only that, drawing fouls, efficiency with assists. You're understanding what the ceiling can be. That's insane, right? I mean, you can't take the best game of his entire career and say this is what it is, but
Yeah,
it gives you
100%.
glimpses of all of the aspects that are available with his game. So that's pretty fantastic, and it'll be interesting to see kind of later on in the season what Taylor Hendricks can evolve into, and see what our two draft picks. I was talking to you about last year, Oklahoma City. They got Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Actually drafted both Jalen Williams, but
Yeah.
the one from Santa Clara, just turned into a monster. So that's one heck of a draft. Um, and that's really part of what's kind of helped put them over the top, and the fact that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a legit top 5, 6, 7 in the league guy.
Right now, yeah.
He's pretty fantastic. And I thought that other than the stretch, and there was a little stretch in the second quarter and a big stretch in the third quarter where we gave him breakaway layups, freaking
Over and over
20
again.
straight points. I thought that the way that we were throwing Agbaji and Fontecchio and Chris Dunn on him, I thought we were making him work for every one of his buckets.
Which I will say gives me a little bit of hope, right, on the defense side of the court from our coach. The last game that we watched, last game that we broke down, the biggest complaint that I had was the fact that we didn't ever throw anything different at, I don't remember who it was, Doncic, when Doncic killed us a few games ago. We didn't ever throw anything different at him. We just stuck with the same game plan over and over again. This game was much different. And I was very happy to see that from the coaching standpoint. Is he attacked him with Fontecchio to start, and then after a few plays they switched and then attacked him with Agbaji. And then, like you said, a couple other guys kind of here and there, but for the most part, it's Fontecchio and Agbaji, but kind of throwing different looks, different defensive styles at him over and over again. That's so important when you're attacking these star players, to make them at least see different looks, make them a little uncomfortable.
Get them out of their comfort zone, make them work for a little bit. I don't know if you watched the in-season tournament final was Saturday. I don't know if you watched any of that.
I did not.
I didn't watch the entire game. Watched a little bit of chunk the first, chunk at the end. Indiana had a great run. Obviously, they were in the finals. They ended up losing to the Lakers, who I can't stand. Just gonna put that out there. Loathe entirely. But Indiana is on pace to be the highest scoring team in NBA history, breaking all kinds of offensive records. And when they had some tough games where they kind of pulled through and won. In the final, the Lakers decided they were going to lock them down and put it on them defensively.
Yep.
The Lakers ended up winning the game by 14-15, and the Lakers only hit 2 3-pointers the entire game. But what they did was they doubled the crap out of Halliburton and made sure that they had a lot of length and made them work. And it kind of was a sign of all this offensive flair, and everybody's looking for, we got to find our offense, we got to have all these points. When it comes important games and playoff time, that crap takes a back seat.
Yep.
When it gets to real basketball, and you have to have players like the Lakers really used. Cam Reddish was effective. Jared Vanderbilt was back for him. He'd been injured for a while, and a lot of their length and defenders. We have lengthy defenders on our team, like a lot of teams don't. We have a lot of depth and defenders, especially give us another year to two with all these players developing. We have that, and we have those pieces. Now, Anthony Davis went wild. We don't have Anthony Davis, but they usually don't have Anthony Davis. I was going to put that. He's usually in street clothes.
Street clothes Davis.
But just to kind of paint the point of some of the roster that we have and some of the pieces that we're building, I hope that we hold on to a bunch of these defensive players that are flexible and can all shoot for the most part, other than Dunn, kind of. I think that we have a lot of valuable pieces in what we're building. We're a year to two behind Oklahoma City. I'd say 2 years.
Yeah.
But we have some pieces that are nice, and especially when we get Markkanen back and Kessler and everybody's had some time to play together as a group, which we haven't really had yet.
No, we haven't had any healthy games with Keyonte George, Markkanen, Kessler, and Collins all together healthy. Mm-hmm. Starting. So
it'll be interesting once that happens and what kind of stretch run we can go on.
I will say something else I actually wanted to mention positively with our coaching staff tonight was a big complaint that a lot, not just us, a lot of people have had is there doesn't seem to be the right kind of accountability being held. Well, Taylor Horton-Tucker had a horrible game.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing awful. Taylor Horton-Tucker, besides the minutes of Samanic, was our lowest minute player in the game. There were several times, especially in the second half, where we're losing by a lot and you bring in the young players or whatever, that we could have brought him in and we didn't. And there was you could tell that rotation got adjusted a little bit and stuff like that to take him kind of out of that rotation, understanding that he's playing awful. In the same moment where you talk about Clarkson, where Clarkson kind of got subbed out, it was in a stretch where Clarkson had some really bad plays in a row. In the first half, we subbed out Agbaji in that rotation. In the second half, Clarkson got subbed out in that rotation. So it gives me some sort of hope with this coaching staff that, he is still super young, right? That if he can start to kind of not just understand these things, he understands these things. That's how he got here.
For sure.
But being willing to make these kinds of decisions in the middle of a game, that even if we're trying to trade Tucker or Clarkson, or we're trying to build around Tucker or Clarkson, whatever, in the moments where these guys are really struggling, to be willing to adjust your game plan and adjust your rotation accordingly.
Yep.
I still have a lot of questions with the way certain rotations are happening and things like that, but it's at least some positive outlook of like, okay, now we're starting to see a little bit of that accountability. If you're going to tell us you're going to hold people accountable, show me. And he showed me that a lot more tonight than he has in the past.
That's true. You can see evidence of that. And you kind of have to get those guys out, because if you have them in there, they control the ball for some reason somehow. And even when they call plays to get it out of their hands, it goes back in their hands.
If you are always having one of those guys on the court, Keyonte can't have a game like he had tonight. It is not a coincidence that Keyonte blows up and has a game like tonight in the same game that both of those guys lost minutes. It's not.
Yep. I mean, think about it. Keyonte had 17 shots, and I think Clarkson had 13, even on a much lower minute type situation. So it's exactly right. The usage wouldn't allow him to even get that many touches and that many shots up. So, man, that was fun to watch, though. Even though we got pounded and killed on the score, it's kind of becoming clear what kind of a team we are right now with the personnel that we have.
Like I said, I went into this game expecting to kind of get our ass kicked. So to have excitement with Taylor Hendricks and Keyonte George and even Samanic towards the end, having that excitement made this game fun to watch. More fun than even some of our wins this year have been, just because there was a legit direction of development, getting these players ready to make runs in a year or two with Markkanen.
Yep, that growth and development is going to be fun. And I know that we're not going to get this kind of offensive output every time from Keyonte, but man, we knew this explosion was coming, and it'll make it so that teams have to respect his shot even more and his offensive ability even more, and it opens up even more for his team.
It was important that he had this kind of offensive explosion on efficient numbers. He didn't take 25 shots to get 30 points. He took, like you said, 16 or 17 shots. A very efficient night.
Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes. So impressive what that youngster's doing. Proving me wrong in a lot of things that I thought coming in this year. Once again, I've confessed my error on that many times.
It's fair. One of us has to.
I'll take it on this one. If Sensabaugh proves me wrong, then we'll be talking.
Yeah. Then that's what we'll just have to always talk about.
I will gladly.
We'll just have to consistently take people that you don't like, or you think aren't it.
And whoever I swear at the TV about, because that is a true story.
So, yeah,
that's who we should take.
This, gave me a lot more excitement tonight. So it makes me excited to watch some more games, and hopefully we continue to see more development. Hopefully we see more usage, and the good will be there with the bad with Keyonte. But tonight was fun. Hope you guys had fun. Thank you guys for continuing to come back, comment. Loving seeing the kind of the consistent comments on there, and just growing this audience to get our breakdown out to more people.
Yeah, we love it. Keep the interaction going. It makes it nice for us.
Yep. Thanks, guys.